welcome friends to another week of late videos and disorganized chaos and bad hair because I need a haircut. Looks like you can just sort of lift it off sometimes. The good news is I've been doing lots of filming and lots of prep, and there's a whole heap of videos lined up that I just have to sort of tidy up and finish, which is really good. Plus, I've got some hopefully really exciting collaborations lined up with people who are not YouTubers. So this week is actually a bit of a cheeky one because I've gone back through the Linefeed archive and I've grabbed a blog post from 2011 that I really liked. I thought it was cool. It's about kids' TV in the 1970s and how it reflected sort of political conditions. It's more about really scary kids' TV shows. So this is it. The last time modern Britain faced dire economic circumstance, back in the 70s and early 80s, the atmosphere at the time was reflected in the television programs that were produced. Most people are familiar with the look of the time, sort of dimly lit in shades of brown and beige, but maybe you haven't thought about just how goddamn spooky some of the stories and themes were. This video is going to serve as a bit of a reminder. The correlation between the 70s and now is there. It's hard to find a popular television program now, the US in particular has been amping this up of late, that doesn't centre around or is jump-started by some dire event. Usually a particularly disturbing murder, Stand Up Broadchurch, The Fall, Hannibal, American Horror Story, etc. All in murky shades of grey. Oh, shades of grey. Didn't mean to do that. The main difference now is the lack of supernatural tropes, although this has been addressed in very recent times where we're still dealing with dire circumstances, but they're often way out of our control. The 70s interest in the mystic, the supernatural, the sinister, and the inexplicable? I put unexplainable, it's inexplicable, isn't it? Certainly wasn't limited to post-watershed TV. In fact, many children's programs were pretty darn chilling, in a direct way that would simply not be allowed these days. The blurring of adult and non-adult content was even evident in popular programs such as Doctor Who and to a lesser extent The Tomorrow People, which was often criticised for themes of death and violence that kept creeping in during this time. It's an era I've been fascinated with recently, so I've dug up a few musty old 70s British TV programs that were aimed at children to see how they fare. I actually think most of them are still pretty darn eerie. See what you think.
Now, I want you to relax and watch the record. That's right. Just watch the record going round and round and round. That's right. Try to empty your mind. And in a moment, you may start to feel drowsy. Don't worry if you feel like going to sleep. That's quite all right.
I remember settling in to watch this after getting home from school, and with my sister being totally creeped out by the opening titles alone. Chocky tells the story of a kid with an imaginary friend who turns out to be some sort of super intelligent alien presence, an invisible presence. It has an understated eeriness that, like its alien protagonist, is hard to put your finger on.
A girl. No, not quite a girl. A woman. Yes, a woman.
You mean you can hear her?
No, I just know she's here somewhere. And a man. There's also a man.
Where are they?
Wait. There's a third one. A child. No. A baby. Yes, it's a small baby.
Abandoned and haunted railway stations, invisible apartments powered by dead animals, faceless entities making ghostly Victorian children emerge from old photographs. Sapphire Steel was powered by some dazzlingly inventive concepts, all sort of encased by a couple of lead characters played by David McCallum from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Joanna Lumley, I guess from Ab Fab. Sapphire Steel was produced during lean times for television production too, having to power on through strikes and blackouts, but was clever in using these restrictions to heighten the sense of things not being how they seemed, much in the way Thriller's wonky sets and oddly dull lighting gave an impression of the times it was made in. So too, Sapphire Steel let the era permeate a program that was set apparently outside of time itself.
Hello.
Hello.
Just arrived.
Why were you staring through our window?
I heard you're coming.
What?
New people. We need new people here.
Why?
We've got to stick together.
My trees.
Who's she?
That's Sandra. Her mum looks after the museum.
She's strange.
Yes, I know.
She says funny things.
Happy day, boys.
Happy day, Mrs. Warner. That's because she's not a happy one.
What's a happy one?
Someone who's happy, of course.
Remember when child actors had to just simply be perky? No, me neither. Judging from the children in The Children of Stones, perky was very much a prerequisite over natural acting ability. Of course, this perkiness might have been just a foil to the eerie goings-on in a small town encircled by mysterious stones that don't seem to let anyone in or out of the village or the town, and have turned its residents into mindless zombies wandering about chirping happy day at one another. These villagers running around obsessing about being a happy one again reflects the anxieties of the time and the very English decision of whether it's better to lead or follow in times of trouble. The soundtrack here is worth noting too for its occultish, paganistic undertones. Again, this is a kids' show. You just would not get away with that these days.
Did you see what it is?
Abstract pattern.
Roger, you're being stupid on purpose. Look at that part.
It's an owl's head, see?
Yes. Well, I suppose it is if you want it to be. 3 leafy heads with this kind of abstract flowery business in between.
It's
yes,
not
I suppose so.
abstract flowery, that's the body.
If you take the design off the plate and put it together, it makes a complete owl, see? There you are. It's an owl.
Yes, it is. An owl.
The Owl Service was a favourite of broadcast Trish Keenan for good reason. The opening theme alone is particularly strange. The story revolves around a group of sort of similarly perky young people, all looking much older than they're acting, on holiday staying in a remote Welsh estate. And it involves an ancient curse caught up in a mythology involving women made of flowers that turn into owls and other intriguingly bizarre motifs. The camera work and editing is also pretty darn strange. It's the editing's sort of restless and reactive, sort of playfully jump cutting between scenes within scenes to unnerving, sometimes jarring effect. Again, it's hard to tell these days if this story was intended for children or not. The brightness and tone says yes. The paganistic themes say, maybe not so much. Maybe it's just that us children of the 70s were expected to be made of sterner stuff, or more likely that these tales were seen as cautionary and commissioned in part to ready us for the uncertainty of what lay ahead, be it economic or unseen forces that had most Brits in the 70s, and as history repeats itself today, teetering on the edge of an uncertain future. I came back at the end here just to say again, There's a whole heap of really good videos lined up that I've just got to finish off, so subscribe and you won't miss out. Just hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Keep yourselves nice, and next Thursday, I always aim for Thursday, I know today's Friday, but hopefully next Thursday another video. Thanks for stopping by.